There were many reasons behind why the original Switch had become one of the most beloved consoles that Nintendo had ever released. It offered affordable hardware, reasonably priced games, and a company that seemed to genuinely care about making gaming accessible to everyone. Nintendo built their reputation of being different from the corporate greed machines at Sony and Microsoft. But following the Nintendo Switch 2, it seems like everything has been changed overnight. What should have been one of the most highly anticipated next-gen reveals has quickly turned into something that has disappointed a lot of fans who have yet to buy the Nintendo Switch 2. Leading up to the announcement of the Switch 2, the excitement was palpable. Nintendo took their goodwill, which was built over nearly a decade, and they torched it for quarterly earnings, engineering an entirely new ecosystem designed to extract maximum profit from their most loyal customers. We're kicking things off with the pricing of the games, with Mario Kart World at $80. The $80 price tag wasn't for some premium collector's edition of Mario Kart World. This was for the retail price of the standard edition, for what amounts to Mario Kart 8.5 with just a few extra tracks, to be honest. Doug Bowser had the nerve to justify these insane prices by stating that it reflects the amount of value within the game. Now, we're talking about a racing game with cartoon characters. This is the same formula that Nintendo's been recycling since the SNES era. Honestly, what groundbreaking innovation could possibly justify charging more than God of War or Spider-Man? The psychological manipulation is obvious once you see it. Nintendo's exploiting the emotional attachment that people have to Mario and childhood memories, as they are weaponizing nostalgia against their most loyal customers. They know all too well that hardcore fans will rationalize the purchase because, well, it's Nintendo, and they're betting that other publishers will follow their lead towards that $90 or even $100 price point for games. The community reaction was very quick and brutal, as Reddit threads organizing boycotts of Nintendo had exploded across different subreddits, YouTube comment sections became war zones, and Nintendo Direct live streams were flooded with drop the price spam and mass dislikes. Nintendo's response was radio silence, and the classic corporate strategy of ignoring criticism until it goes away was utilized. Now, even YouTubers had made videos criticizing Nintendo, but on the launch of the Switch 2, they were the first to end up buying the console. This obviously led to their audience losing faith in their convictions, and while they were claiming that they were going to be boycotting Nintendo, they were first in line to pick up their new console, which was very hypocritical. Nintendo also introduced game keycards, and this has quickly proven to be one of the most deceptively anti-consumer practices in modern gaming. Imagine this: you buy what you think is a physical game cartridge, you get home and you discover that it's essentially an expensive download code. No game data, no ability to play offline immediately, just a plastic key that forces you to download the entire game while still requiring the cartridge insertion every time that you want to play it. This gives customers the absolute worst aspects of both digital and physical media. You get the inconvenience of carrying cartridges, the storage requirements of digital downloads, and the need for internet connectivity, and then you lose the preservation benefits that made physical media so valuable in the first place. The issue here is that people who advocate for game preservation, they're going to be losing their minds, because when Nintendo shuts down the Switch 2 servers, within 15 to 20 years time, these game keycards will be essentially paperweights. It's digital-only gaming disguised as physical media. This is the worst kind of bait and switch, because these games, which will be a part of gaming history, will literally just be mountains of plastic shells containing absolutely nothing once the Switch 2 is long and gone. Nintendo advertised 256GB of internal memory, while conveniently omitting the fact that modern games are exponentially larger than this. After system files, you're left with pretty much 230GB. Mario Kart World alone takes up 23.4 gig, and major third-party titles demand 50 to 100GB downloads. You can fit maybe 3 or 4 major games before the system has run out of memory. But here's the real scam: regular micro SD cards no longer work on the Switch 2. Nintendo requires micro SD express cards, which cost 2.5 to 3 times more than standard alternatives. A 256GB micro SD express card runs at about $50 to $71 compared to under $20 for regular SD cards. If you want a 1TB SD card, that'll be close to $200. This is assuming that you can find one that is in stock. Sony and Microsoft allow external USB drives for affordable game storage, but Nintendo's decided to choose the most expensive, least available storage format possible. Then they act surprised when suppliers are not able to meet the demand. Japanese retailers sold out of these micro SD express cards within hours, as it immediately triggered scalpers to resell these cards online. Nintendo engineered a crisis where additional storage isn't optional, it's mandatory within weeks of ownership of a Switch 2, especially with game key cards forcing downloads even for physical purchases. I mean, their excuse is that micro SD express cards have faster reading and writing speeds, but personally I don't buy it. I think it's another anti-consumer practice. Nintendo's subscription strategy also reveals their complete abandonment of consumer-friendly practice, as basic features that competitors offer for free like voice chat, party systems, game sharing are all locked behind Nintendo Switch Online paywalls. The game chat system, which is accessed through a dedicated C button, will essentially become useless following the 31st of March 2026 if you do not have a Nintendo Switch Online active subscription. It's insane that voice chat requires this $20 annual subscription, as video chat needs the $55 USB-C camera, and if you want to play GameCube games, it demands the Switch Online subscription with the expansion pack at $50 yearly. And then premium features will require the family plan, which is $80 a year. Compare this to PlayStation Party or Xbox Party, which is completely free voice chat which works across different console generations. Discord offers superior functionality at no extra cost, and Nintendo is charging for inferior versions of services that everyone else is providing for free. The GameCube situation particularly stings because Nintendo's holding beloved classics hostage behind subscription tiers. If you want to play classics like Wind Waker or F-Zero GX, then you'll need to fork over $50 a year in order to rent access to these games. There is no purchase option, and when your subscription expires, then your access to GameCube titles will disappear too. Nothing explains Nintendo's mistreatment of consumers like the Joycon drift issue. 8 years of lawsuits, complaints, and public apologies, and Nintendo used the exact same drift-prone technology for the Switch 2. iFixit's teardown confirmed that there were zero meaningful changes to the analogs used in the Joy-Cons, continuing to use Alps potentiometer sticks instead of proven drift-resistant alternatives which exist. This is incompetence at the highest level. Hall effect sensors eliminate drift entirely, and it costs roughly the same for them to manufacture. Gully Kit has been selling drift-proof Joy-Con replacements for years using superior technology. Nintendo knows that the solution exists, but they choose profits over quality. Multiple users reported drift issues within days of purchasing the Switch 2, with some experiencing problems straight out of the box. Nintendo's website immediately offered repair services for these affected customers, suggesting that they anticipated these failures. They've accepted that selling defective controllers and offering free repairs is more profitable than manufacturing good quality hardware in the first place. Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa publicly apologized for the Nintendo Switch drift issues in 2020, promising improvements. Doug Bowser made similar pledges in 2021, and these weren't good faith commitments, they were damage control in order to buy time while continuing to sell defective hardware. Now, after years of Nintendo consoles being globally accessible, Nintendo brought back region locking for the Switch 2. Japanese consumers can buy a Japanese-only Switch 2 for $334, or they can pay $467 for a global version of the console. This is a $110 premium. The restricted version locks users to Japan-only accounts, it limits eShop access exclusively to Japan, and it provides no compatibility guarantee with international games. Nintendo's charging $100 plus for the privilege of using your native language or accessing other regions' content. Nintendo's justification involves unique market circumstances, but this is corporate speak for maximizing profit extraction in different regions. The hardware is identical, the software restrictions are artificial, and this establishes precedent for regional discrimination after nearly a decade of having no locks between regions. I'm guessing that this may be due to tariff issues, as it is more expensive to export consoles that are being produced overseas to individuals who want to purchase them in America or Europe. But is this enough of an explanation as to why the global version of the Switch 2 is $100 more than the Japanese version? The transformation of Nintendo appears to have accelerated after Satoru Iwata's death in 2015. Iwata was famous for taking pay cuts during struggling years at the company, and he prioritized innovation over profit. His successor came from business operations rather than game development, bringing a purely financial perspective to the head of the company. Seems like there's been a philosophical shift within Nintendo, and it's evident everywhere, charging for the Switch 2 Welcome Tour system tutorial, locking basic features behind subscriptions, premium accessory pricing. Every aspect of Nintendo has been monetized under the mindset of what can we charge for rather than what enhances player experience. I mean, people try to boycott Nintendo, YouTubers made videos criticizing Nintendo all the way leading up to the launch of the Switch 2, but then when the console released, these big YouTubers purchased a Switch 2 on launch day. There's a lot of criticism, and it stems from Nintendo knowing that they can get away with what they are doing, and people supporting Nintendo with these practices with their wallets is part of the problem. Personally, I've not bought a Switch 2. I know individuals who have. I've had a go at Mario Kart World, and it doesn't offer anything that justifies that $80 price tag in my opinion. I hate the fact that Nintendo is normalizing these game keycards. I'm a massive proponent of physical media. This is why I purchase every movie or series that I love, and I buy the physical versions of the games that I look forward to. I mean, take for example Metal Gear Solid 4. I still have a physical copy of that game on the PS3 as it's unavailable to be played on any modern hardware. Or even games like Mario Kart Double Dash, which have no way to be played on modern consoles. The only way you can play that is if you have the physical game from over 20 years ago and a GameCube to play it on. So yeah, we've reached the point of the video now where I want to hand over the discussion to all of you. What do you guys think about the insane practices of Nintendo? Did any of you go out and purchase a Switch 2? Are you happy with your purchase? Do you think that it was worth $80 for Mario Kart World? Lastly, thanks for making it to the end of this one, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video.
A massive thank you goes out to all of my amazing Patreon supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you also want to support the channel and see your name in the end of my videos, then check out my Patreon, which has loads of perks like early video access and so much more. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.